and welcome to another Profit Protector Pro video. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be talking about break even. Now, if you aren't familiar with that term, break even is where you are not making a profit and you're not making a loss. So if you sell for that price, you make zero. So break even typically covers all costs associated with that product, so you make enough money to pay off all of those costs but nothing further, so therefore you make a profit of zero. Now this is one of those worst case scenarios where if you just need to sell up your stuff, your break even is kind of like that last resort where you are making zero. Now we do a lot of work in the Amazon space, and obviously selling for zero isn't a good feeling, but it is better than selling for a loss because that eats into your money kind of unnecessarily. So if you do just need to get rid of your stuff, selling for break even is that last resort to hopefully ensure that that happens. Now, I am a big believer in not sacrificing profit kind of unnecessarily. So the reason why anyone would want to go ahead and sell for their break even in the first instance, because maybe you're thinking, hold on, why would anyone want to do that? Basically, it's time. Okay, within Amazon, you are kind of up against time to some extent. It's one of your competitors. So the longer that you have something stored in an Amazon warehouse, the higher your storage fee will be. Okay, so when you send stuff to Amazon, you are charged a storage fee, and the more months that item sits in storage, the higher that fee will be. So that will just continue to grow. And if you've got storage fees that are increasing continually for lots of things because you're not selling out, you just need to get rid of them to avoid that fee then eating into the money that you've made. So that's why people make that jump to sell for their break even. Now, as I say, I don't believe in being so quick to jumping into like selling for zero, because as I say, we do a lot of work, and selling for zero, yes, it means that we don't make a loss, but at the same time, if we can make some money from it, I would take that as a win. Okay, in that scenario, if we just need to get rid of that product, I would take that as a win. So for me personally, before I jump straight to break even, if I look at the product and think, oh, okay, that's getting on now, it's like 4 months old or something like that. Okay, I just need to sell for break even now and get rid of it. I would try lowering the minimum price first before I make that jump, because you never know. Like, just try it for a time. You don't have to keep it up for a long time. Just try it for like a few days, a week, something like that, and see what happens. Okay, you might end up lowering your minimum by like $1 or $2, then an extra $1 or $2 or something like that, until of course you hit your break even. So try it in stages before a direct jump, because ultimately storage fees increase every month, right? So if you have if you're going to pay some storage fees anyway for that month, you might as well use that month to see if you can make some money, and maybe that covers the storage fees. So for me personally, I would try that approach, but of course you're going to know your stock better than me, and maybe you see it necessary just to make that jump and get rid of it. But I would just try lowering the minimum bit by bit, see what happens, because it could very easily be that you lower your minimum by $2 or something like that, and maybe you only make like $1 profit from it, but that's better than zero. Like I would take anything like that as a win in that situation where I just need to get rid of stuff. Now, how do we judge when we need to make that change and just sell up our stuff? Now, there's not really a set guide that I can give you. There isn't like a strict rule where, oh, yep, if it's X, months or weeks old, you just need to get rid of it. I can't tell you that. No one can tell you that. Only you will know. And there's so many factors that you will be juggling with that. So there'll be aspects like sales volume per month. Okay, maybe the item is on its way out and sales are dropping, and you're observing that month by month. And at that point, if you aren't getting rid of that item, then you have got stuff that's being held at Amazon. It's not being sold off because the sales are going down and down and down and down. So before it flatlines, you want to be lowering your minimum price, maybe even jumping to break even in time to then just get rid of that stuff. Okay, don't keep stuff in storage forever. I mean, it makes sense why Amazon has the storage fees, because they have warehouses, they have these storage spaces, and if people's stuff that just isn't going anywhere is just sitting there, then they lose space for things that could actually be sat there for a time to then be sold. So yeah, it's your stuff that they are storing for you. So it makes sense why storage fees are a thing. Now, what I would advise that you do in Profit Protector Pro, and this follows up with some of my recent YouTube videos as well, is I would advise having this kind of automation in place. Of course, it's dependent on if there's any other needs that you need filled by an automation. But if you don't have anything like that and you just want to apply a simple stock age automation to all of your listings, then you can make something very similar to what I've got here. Like I've got every window covered. I mean, for lots of sellers, I think when they hit somewhere anywhere as early as this time range all the way through to maybe somewhere around here, I think anything like that, that's when people want to just be selling out of their stock for that particular product. Of course, you'll know your inventory a lot better than me. I think typically it'll end up being more so something around here, but I have heard people wanting to get rid of stuff as early as this time window as well. So just to give you an idea, I would say this is like like these sort of time ranges are sensible to look at when you're trying to decide if you should just jump to break even, like how much you should lower it by. You could do something like this, or you could literally just go to break even. But bear in mind, unless you are using the decrease or increase price functions, Profit Protector Pro can't just jump down to your break even if your minimum is above it. The only actions that can change your minimum and maximum prices in Profit Protector Pro, besides you manually doing it, is using these options right here. So just bear in mind, if you do set something like go to break even, if your minimum is above your break even, then it will just set your minimum. It can't go to your break even because that would be breaking the strict coding that's in place for Profit Protector Pro to keep your repricing in between your set minimum and maximum. So it's worth bearing that in mind. You might want to leave a note on your item to say, like, when this is however old, like manually change the minimum price, and then this automation would make a bit more sense. It's completely up to you what it is that you want to do. I would say if you are going to change your minimum, don't do it straight away to your break even, because obviously for the first month or 2 or 3, you want to be making profit on that item. You don't want to have your minimum down at your break even, because the minimum's got to be the lowest price that you're happy to sell at where you are still making profit. So that would be my advice to you. Like, make a note or something, keep an eye on it. When it is however old, maybe then reassess the minimum, then change it to the same price as the break even, and then of course this will be that bit more effective. Or you could just do decrease minimum price by, and then of course you'll know where your break even point is. Bear in mind that these automations are, like, if you are going to apply this to everything, you do need to think of like a one size fits all kind of deal. Otherwise you might end up wanting to make multiple versions of this with different minimum price decreases. Completely up to you, but I would say that having an automation in place like that would probably be a good idea and saves you from doing a lot more manual work. So yeah, that's a bit about break even. That is when you might want to think about just selling your stuff for that price just to get rid of it. It's all about combating storage fees and making sure you aren't paying a lot just to have your stuff stored to just sit if it's not being sold off quick enough. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.